I tried to slow ghost my former best friend of 10 plus years, but she won't take the hint. Do I tell her directly that I want to part ways with her completely? So I 26F will call my former best friend Megan 26F. We were best friends from age 11 until about age 24, where it all went wrong. As it stands, I don't want to have her in my life. She has caused me a lot of pain and I no longer trust her. She hasn't gotten the memo though, and keeps calling and texting saying it's been so long, let's hang out. At first I tried to allow it to fizzle out gradually, but the more I do, the more persistent she is. I'm feeling guilty and don't know where to go from here. So, the context: Megan and I decided we wanted to move to the city together after we graduated. The city is expensive, so we had to move into a share house with other people, which is very normal for people in our age and location. We found these two guys our age who were looking to balance their house with two females. They seemed like a great fit for us. They were very involved in their church life as Christians. They weren't bro kind of guys, which suited us as we didn't want to live with guys who were into partying/drugs lifestyle or who might pursue us sexually. A wholesome home in the crazy big city. I'll try to keep this short, but this is a long story. If any of you have seen Baby Reindeer on Netflix, that's what happened with one of the guys. That's the TLDR. I'll call him Tom. Tom became obsessed with me, at first positively and then extremely negatively. He hated me with a passion. It was hell. I didn't understand what I did wrong. He would send me massive paragraph texts about how disgusting I am, so much that I had to block him from being able to message me on anything. I wasn't messy or noisy, actually I spent as little time as I could in the house because of him. Never cooked or used the common area to avoid anything he could get angry at me over. I was working in hospitality, so would get home at 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. and he would be waiting at the window, big light on. My room was next to his, and as soon as I was inside my room he would make as much noise as possible, banging on the wall, walking up and down, grunting and groaning. He always knocked on my door when I was sleeping to talk to me. Meanwhile, he was a completely different guy to Megan and the fourth guy. Because I was always out and they had similar schedules, they'd spend lots of time together. I could overhear him when speaking to them, and he was acting as the most well-adjusted, thoughtful, kind person. Crazy. You might be wondering how they couldn't hear the commotion at night. Megan is deaf in one ear and sleeps on her good ear, so if she's asleep she can't hear anything. The fourth guy had the bedroom downstairs and had to sleep with his medical equipment on, which is pretty loud. Tom witched about me hardcore to the others. I heard him doing it a lot. His main point was that I kept him awake at night. Thing is, I did keep him awake at night because he was up waiting up for me. But he left that part out. It all got so bad that my dad called him to have a conversation to try and get him to stop all of this. My dad, who had a career as a psychologist, said, "Baby, I won't tell you what was said, but I can tell you he's obsessed with you and you should lock your door at night." So how did this ruin my friendship with Megan? Well, for the first months I kept it all to myself. Because it was all happening in the middle of the night and over the phone, I kind of wanted to pretend it wasn't happening, and if I told them, it would make it feel real. I also didn't want them to feel awkward. But when it got too much and I told Megan all about it, she did nothing. She didn't really respond. I expected her to be horrified, but she was all, "That's between you two, I'm staying out of it." That was it. She continued to be friends with him. One time, they didn't know I was in the house and Tom was on a rampage about me to Megan downstairs. I stood in the hall and heard it all. For literally 45 minutes he was ranting, "She's the most uninteresting person I've ever met. There's not one interesting thing about her. She's so unmotivated. All the wants from her life is to be looked after by men and watch reality TV. I have no respect for her at all." Megan didn't join in, but she also didn't combat him, she listened. And as my boyfriend pointed out to me, she's definitely said mean stuff about me for him to even feel comfortable saying all of that to her. After that, I left the house and just cycled around in the dark. I put a message in the group chat saying I heard everything, and I bullet pointed the reasons why all of that wasn't true at all. Megan didn't say anything to me about it. Tom came to my room the next day and demanded I move out. I said no, I was waiting until both mine and my boyfriend's contracts were up so we could move in together. The next week, he moved out. I think me overhearing all of that outed him as being awful and he was embarrassed. Megan went for a farewell dinner with him to say goodbye. That was over a year ago now. I tried to forgive Megan. She came to my place and I explained my whole experience and she did apologize. She was sorry. I tried to move on after her apology. We went to a festival together and hung out a few times. But I can't shake it. She didn't act like a best friend at all through that situation, and I do not trust her. Now thinking of her makes me think of him and how she left me alone in that situation. I'm much happier in my new life in my new home with new best friends. That leads us up to now. She keeps on messaging and calling trying to rekindle, and I know that I've tried, and I know it doesn't work. I don't want to confront her because she already apologized for that stuff, and I don't believe in making people feel bad when they've already been sorry. But I know that she lost my friendship in the way she acted during that time. Do I tell her or keep saying I'm busy?
Relevant comment. Cultural_shape 3518. She's probably never thought about it again, and I am haunted by the whole situation. Not that I think you need to convey more in whatever you say than, "I'm done, please leave me alone," but I think that might be an important thing for her to hear. She gets to not be haunted by this because Tom was nice to her, and even the limited amount of what he put you through that she was directly exposed to didn't leave enough of an impression for her to at least skip out on his goodbye party. You don't have that luxury, and you don't want to have to spend the rest of your life trying to make her understand what it's been like, especially when the way she handled things means you just can't trust her even if she claims she does.